Hey guys, this is Ice, and I'm doing another StarCraft 2 commentary. I haven't been doing a lot of these recently because school just started back for me, but I'm gonna try to do a bunch over the weekend and then release them over the week, so I'll have 2 or 3 videos a week, hopefully. So now this is actually going to be a Terran versus Zerg, but the Zerg player is Korean, I think. So I obviously don't know who this is. I have no idea what to call him. Maybe I'll just call him the Korean. And over here as the red Terran we have IMMvp, who I'm not familiar with either. Usually I know the names of a lot of the higher level players, and not saying that this guy isn't, but I just never really heard of him. And if I had to make a bet on who would win the game right now, obviously I would say the Zerg player just because he's Korean. And like Idra, one of the top Zerg players, he actually went to live in Korea to train because the Koreans are just so much better than everyone else. Even though at the DreamHack 2011 tournament it was an American guy that won, Liquid Huck, but I don't know, something weird happened there. Now this is just pretty standard, obviously. This is the standard choke point here on this map. And then there's an expansion over here which is kind of dark, so you can't see that yet, but it's a pretty cool map. I think for Zerg players it's kind of nice as well, just because the expansion is right here and it's not too difficult to defend against because there's a cliff that goes all around the edge of the expansion here, so you just basically put an overlord somewhere along here and you can see when the opponent's coming. The third expansion is not too hard to get to either, but it's not as easy to defend because you can get to it 2 ways. So we'll see what kind of build these players are going to go for here. It looks like the Zerg player was going for a hatchery first, so nothing too unusual there. That was I think a 16 hatch 15 pool probably, kind of like the Spanishiwa build, but he's going for an extractor, which Spanishiwa does not do. So it looks like he's going to be using the early gas probably to get metabolic boost, the Zergling speed, as fast as possible. That's just kind of common. And the Terran scout just coming into the base, he sees that there is an early expansion, and he's dropping a bunker. So there is a marine on the way. Now this could actually be troublesome. There's another marine on the way. It looks like the Terran player is going to stream some marines and possibly go for some Hellion harasses after. The Zerg player has had to pull drones off the line. You really do not want this to go up. I think the SCV is actually still there building it, and there is one marine over here. Looks like he's just barely gonna picked out there. Luckily he didn't get into the bunker. That would have been pretty terrible. 2 Zerglings there just gonna finish off that bunker, and the SCV is actually not dead yet. The SCV is actually going to be repairing it now, so I think that was a bit of a micro slip here for the Zerg player. It looks like some drones are going to go down, possibly going to get 3 drone kills, maybe 4, or just barely going to get that 3, and the SCV is finally going to go down. So I think there were 2 or 3 drone kills there and a Zergling as well. Zerg player not doing the best there, just getting out that SCV, but he did have the situation pretty much under control. The bunker was not salvaged as far as I know. The marine just there trying to kite the Zerglings, but 1 marine against 3 Zerglings is not going to go too well. So the Zerg player feeling a bit better now. He's now going to obviously want to get some saturation up here as fast as possible, as well as that metabolic boost, which metabolic boost is very good because not only can you get around the map faster, but you can also get a surround on your opponents faster. Now 2 Hellions are moving across the map. Of course that was kind of obvious when the factory was coming up and there was a reactor, so the Zerg player is not going to be doing too good, and obviously spine crawlers are the appropriate response. Now moving the queens off the creep was not the best idea, just because it's going to take them a while to get back over here, and he's going to have to pull drones off the line. I think it takes 3 or 4 Hellion shots to kill a drone, but they have massive AoE damage, so they actually kill probably 3 or 4 drones actually in just a couple shots. So Hellions are actually pretty efficient if you can get them into the mineral line. And the Zerg player moving those queens off the creep, I don't really agree with that. He has no drones over here yet. He had to move them all away. He should probably transfer them back over here. He is doing that now. So, not exact. I don't think I would have pulled the queens off the creep for that. He's going to need a lot more spine crawlers, I think, to deal with these Hellions. But he does have a small force over here. Looks like he's going to try to get in from over here. If that supply depot, not really noticing that right there, and those Zerglings are going to get right into the mineral line and do some damage. But there are a lot of SCVs, so maybe 2 or 3 SCV kills. So kind of trading now with the Terran. So I think they're pretty much even. Although the Zerg players got to be kind of worried now, because as a Zerg player, you never really want to be on the same number of bases as either a Terran or a Protoss. So he basically has 2 options, as usual when this happens. You can attack or you can expand. And looks like he may actually... Is this a drone over here? Nope. He may actually be going for an expansion, but still scouting around the map at first. There are 4 Hellions on the way. The Zerg player could be in some trouble. I don't see any spine crawlers over here. I thought that only 1, and it's placed kind of awkwardly. You would think that the Zerg player would be a lot more careful now. And they are roasting some drones over here. The spine crawler just poking away from here, but I think that's pretty bad positioning. Should be closer to the mineral line. I think he just wanted to get possibly a shot off when they were passing, but I actually don't know why that is here. It made more sense to put it here or here, possibly even right here. Anyhow, not exactly sure about that placement. The Hellions still running around in the mineral line, really delaying some mining there. So it looks like the Terran is probably going to be feeling pretty comfortable just because he is keeping on the pressure, even if he's not doing that much damage. The important thing is that the Zerg player now has a relatively bad economy, just because they're on the same number of bases and he's lost more miners than the Terran has. So he's gonna want to do some damage now. Doesn't want to run into the siege tank line at all though. Should probably just send in like 1 Zergling just to see what's going on. And the thing here is the Terran player is building a line of supply depots, and he's also, well, was walling up with these tanks here. So this is actually pretty interesting. I don't think I've really seen this used in this way before, because you have a static wall and then you can make a movable wall with the tanks here. But it looks like the tanks are going to be put behind the bunkers now, just to have kind of a better defense, so the tanks can do a lot of damage from behind here, and you can just lower the depots at any time. A lot of mules over here for the Terran. Of course, not going to be needing those on scans. He does have a starport, and medevac is coming out. So this is kind of an evolution of the Destiny Cloudfist build, or 111 build, which is basically barracks, factory, and starport. And Destiny is infantry, Destiny Cloud is the air units, and Fist is the heavy mech, like tanks. Zerg player, I don't think he has very good map control. Let me just check what is he doing here. I'm just looking at his camera view, and I'm not exactly sure what he's doing. Looks like he's just focusing on spreading creep for now. He doesn't really know the unit composition. He's got to be assuming, of course, that it's nothing really unusual for a Terran player. It's pretty common to have these even if you're not starting off with a Destiny Cloudfist build. But there are a lot of tanks now, and as far as I saw, the Zerg player still has only really Zerglings. And here was a small little drop over here, which is going to be cleaned up pretty easily with a lot of Zerglings and a nice transfuse going off on those queens. But the medevac getting away. It looks like the Zerg player could be in a fair amount of trouble here, just because he has mainly Zerglings and the Terran player does have a lot of tanks. Now he is going for a Spire, and of course tanks can attack air, so Mutalisks would be good, but there are a lot of Marines. So the Zerg player is also going for Banelings, which he's really going to need to use properly. If the Marines are able to get a good stim away, then that's not going to be good at all. There's a Spine Crawler down here, but the Terrans just dropped a scan up here to gain vision and just pick off the Spine Crawler, as well as some drones actually with these tanks. So pretty good positioning and taking off the extractor. So The Terran is actually doing pretty nice, dropping some Marines in here. I think this could be the end of the game for the Zerg player. He really hasn't put on any pressure throughout the game. He does have a lot of banelings coming in here. Wow. Wow. Those banelings actually doing a surprising amount of damage, but just not completely finishing up that line of tanks, and there's still Marines in here. So I think with this tank vision from the bottom, this is definitely going to be the end of the game. The expansion is just barely in range here of that tank. So I think this is definitely GG now. And again, the Terran player really just keeping the pressure on for the entire game. And then with the medevac drops, just really irritating. A couple of Mutalisks not being able to do that much without the help of the banelings, and going to be able to take out these tanks, but I'm not sure how much the Zerg players are able to do now. There are a lot of Marines on the way, so I think this is definitely the end of the game. Don't see what else he can really do. He is transferring some drones over here to start his economy ruling again, but he does not really have that much. The Terran has 87 supply over the Zerg's 58, so Marines just still, you know, you really don't want to move those Mutalisks too close to a group of Marines. They just destroy them, rip them apart right away. And the Terran is going for an upgrade, more Marines, tanks, and medevacs. Meanwhile, the Zerg player is kind of in trouble now. He should have expanded, but he couldn't really just because of that constant pressure all the time. And of course, the tank here with that extra range, because the medevac and the Marines are up here, the Spinecrawler is not going to be able to go up. And this is definitely got to be the end of the game now. And nice, just making sure the medevac picks up those Marines just before they go down. And the medevac going to be just dropping over and over. I don't know if that was like a face or if that was GG. It was probably GG. So the Terran did play very well. The Zerg player just wasn't able to expand or retaliate. Actually, wasn't able to put any pressure on the Terran, and couldn't get an economy ruling because of that constant pressure over and over. So thanks for watching, guys. If you have any comments or whatever, you can leave them just leave them below, or you can message me. So thanks for watching.